Go ahead.
Welcome into Rover Sports. For any of you people out there who just saw the Packers-Bears game, you just saw a game for the ages. I can't believe what I just saw. Aaron Rodgers, already a first-ballot Hall of Famer, just brought his team back from 20-0, literally back from the dead, was carted off because of a knee injury. It came back and orchestrated a one-point victory. People, that's what NFL football is all about. And if you saw the interview at the end of the game with Aaron Rodgers, it's just the legend just grows. The legend grows. Spencer, I don't have a lot of words. What do you think?
Neither do I. Aaron Rodgers, he was playing on one leg, and for him to go out there, throw the ball to Davante Adams, make just tremendous throws. He's a Bears killer. And Randall Cobb with that play, the walk-off touchdown, it was a storybook ending at Lambeau Field, and it was absolutely spectacular. It was Aaron Rodgers at his best. And, he came back in the second half. You thought he was done for the season. You thought Green Bay's season was totally over. And yet Aaron Rodgers, what he managed to do was come back in that football game in a way that I've really, haven't seen it before. I mean, it was, I'm trying to think of a performance that was kind of like Aaron Rodgers. It was kind of like Brett Favre. It was like a guy off a torn ACL, coming back off one leg. It was like Byron Leftwich at Marshall. It was just like,
or you have to think about certain gutty performances. I can think about Terrell Owens, who had a fractured ankle and came back in the Super Bowl to almost be an MVP in 2004. In this case, Aaron Rodgers couldn't put any weight. When he threw the ball, he couldn't put any weight on his left leg. He couldn't run.
Yeah.
Couldn't escape the pocket. But he threw at one point, he was 17 out of 19 in the second half. He was pinpoint accuracy in that last throw. That last throw to Randall Cobb, he just waited. It was double safety. You called it. Call the formation. What did you say?
Well, I think I probably saw cover two. I wasn't sure about that. But what Aaron does so well is he always waits for the play to develop. He always waits till the last second, and he just has such a feel for the pocket. And he doesn't take any sacks, and he was taking what the defense gave him. And Prince Amukamara got beat a couple of times. And, Randall Cobb just, with his blazing speed, the safeties all creeping up. I mean, Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, there's just a calming effect that that the guy can win and deliver. It was almost like his performance against the Dallas Cowboys. It's almost like his Hail Mary performances. I think he's one of the clutchest athletes we've seen, maybe ever.
I want to wish
he always seems to pull these out.
I want to wish everybody, our Jewish friends, and there are many out there, a very happy New Year, happy Rosh Hashanah. You'll excuse us, obviously, for doing this live stream, but anybody who saw this game can understand it.
It was ridiculous.
I hate to use a pun, but it was a religious experience watching this game.
Yeah.
It was just incredible. And at the end, Aaron Rodgers in the interview said that he went out. The doctor said it was a knee injury, and he said, I'm going back in. And without even batting an eye, he said, guess what? I'll be back next week against Minnesota, and I'll be playing next week. So the legend just grows. It grows.
He's almost like an actor. Aaron Rodgers' life is like a movie, and he's the way Aaron Rodgers is. It's almost like he's acting. I mean, it's almost like the guy, he is like a sniper, he has no emotions at all. He's like Chris Kyle on the football field,
He's a sniper.
Yeah, that's what I think of Aaron Rodgers. It's like he never gets rattled. He never is high, never is low, and he's just a complete surgeon. And that's what makes Aaron Rodgers just absolutely a ridiculous, ridiculous player, is that he doesn't really have any sort of, emotional feelings about the game. And, he's not too nervous. He never forces anything. He completely rises to the occasion. The way he can move throughout the pocket, it's exceptional.
I want to thank everyone. I want to thank our production coordinator here. And we literally have 3 separate feeds going on. We have a Periscope feed. We want to thank everybody on Periscope. We have, is that a YouTube feed we have in the middle?
Yeah.
And we have, I want to thank, everybody for tuning in. Again, it's not going to be a live stream. A lot of us will be
I don't think that his leg is gone at all, you know. So
it's not gone. You know, medically speaking, he strained a knee, but in any event, if his bone was broken, even he couldn't have come back. So there's a lot of injuries you can't come back from. But the fact is, it was super exciting. The defense came back, only let up 2 field goals. 2 really crazy plays.
For Bears fans, it's heartbreaking.
It's got to be crippling.
They started the season, Khalil Mack, everybody on Twitter thinking that the game was over. And what ended up happening was that the Bears choked and Mitchell Trubisky couldn't come through in the final moments of the game. But really, it was Green Bay just being elite. And it was Aaron Rodgers. The fact is, it's that a superstar quarterback can save the league. And if Aaron Rodgers was hurt for the season, or if there's a lingering knee injury, the NFL product, I mean, it's just amazing having the guy back. I mean, it was one of the gutsiest performances of the year. I think it's the gutsiest sports performance that we've seen on a year. The guy did it on one leg. He couldn't move at all. And he came back. And he ended up beating his nemesis Bears, a team that he owns, in the most Aaron Rodgers way possible. And you just felt that confidence when the Pack got the ball back. And you know what the throw reminded me of? The throw reminded me of like Tebow to Demaryius Thomas. Like, I remember watching that game exactly here. And that was a magical play. It was just like the Cobb play on 4th down. Aaron Rodgers just has this ability, you know, the Hail Mary against the Detroit Lions, the throw to Jared Cook. There are spectacular throws that Aaron Rodgers makes late in ball games, and he just has a knack for doing this, the knack for the dramatic, and he's one of the best football players, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, maybe a top 5, top 7 guy, and I think if he gets another Super Bowl, he'll be in there for sure.
Yeah, we have to acknowledge a comment by Leonard Keltz. And again, Happy New Year to you out in Long Beach, California. Leonard's a great guy. And Leonard makes a comment. He said, can Rodgers last 16 games? And obviously it's statistical. The answer is he probably can't play like this and play the way Aaron Rodgers plays. Aaron Rodgers has gone through everything. He's been through broken clavicles, broken ribs, knee injuries. He's kind of the football version of Allen Iverson. I've seen a diagram of Allen Iverson where he's basically torn, ripped, broke every bone. And again, Allen Iverson was a little guy. So I know I'm mixing sports, but that's what we like to do here on Rover Sports. Fact is, Aaron Rodgers is a selfless guy. He's thinking about the team. He's not thinking about himself. Just an unusual guy. Doesn't have a sense of self-preservation. No. He'd be a guy out there. If he was fighting a war, this is what he would do. And again, we don't want to make light of fighting, but he'd be the guy out there who would be mortally injured, who would take down 20 of the enemy as he was dying. Just what we saw tonight.
Last stand mode. That's what Aaron Rodgers was like.
This is last stand mode. In other words, to see the guttiness of his performance, to see a triumph, to be down 20-0, it's almost, you know, statistically, it's almost impossible to come back against a team that was rolling with a defense that didn't play particularly well in the first half.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to say thank you to my Periscope viewers here. If you want to watch the stream, go to YouTube and go to Rover Sports. We're going to be there, and you can continue to,
You've got so many Periscope viewers.
Do you want to switch? You want to switch? Let's switch your Facebook to Periscope. Let's put it on the selfie stick. Eric Flowers should be fired. I'll take some NFL questions right now. Eric Flowers is the worst offensive lineman in the history of the NFL. Eric Flowers should not get a job. He always gets opportunity after opportunity, and the way he was holding on the first play, he nullified a huge Evan Ingram play, and it was ridiculous. The Cleveland Browns. Can you slide it on the selfie stick? Okay, slide it. Okay, there it goes.
We're good.
The Cleveland Browns, the fact that they tied a game today is an amazing accomplishment. And Tyrod Taylor is so anemic. They had 5 turnovers in the football game, and they still managed to find a way to blow that game and to not win that football game today. I mean, it took a lot of talent to not win that game, but Cleveland
took a lot of talent.
Took a lot of talent.
So we just want to acknowledge who we are, and we want to thank everybody. We are Rover Sports. We're based in Philadelphia. We have a show on ESPN on Wednesday nights. You guys are humbling us with your Periscope. It's incredible. Thanks for all the likes and shares and everything. Also, YouTube. Thanks for YouTube themselves for sending us those checks.
Yes.
For acknowledging what we do and finding sponsors for us. For all of our friends, our friends in the state of Israel and right here. Want to thank you guys for logging on. We wish you all a happy New Year.
Wednesday night, yes.
Wednesday night. So in any event, we just saw an incredible game. We saw the Packers come back. They were down 20-0. They were basically dead. There's no other word to say it.
Khalil Mack
and we were worried. Yeah. It seemed like the Packers season was over. When you see Aaron Rodgers literally carted off, you saw somebody land on his leg. I was thinking broken leg. I was thinking dislocated patella, a la Charles Barkley. I didn't really see it. I was thinking Joe Theismann, career ending. That would have been the end of the Packers season.
That would have been the end of Aaron Rodgers. His career would be over if he couldn't play. If he had 2 seasons where
how many people are out there? How many people thought at that point that the Packers had any chance of winning the game? And we just watched it. And we just watched it bit by bit.
No. More than that, I thought the Green Bay Packers as a franchise were going to die, like with Aaron Rodgers, because they invested how much money into this guy? Like $135 million into a guy that if he would have broken his leg and not played again tonight, the Green Bay Packers as a franchise would be screwed for the next 10 years. I mean, this was a decade-changing kind of game tonight.
It would be almost worse than Tecking or worse than Chip Kelly come to the Eagles.
If Brett Hundley and DeShone Kizer were playing quarterback, you'd have a better chance of winning if Eric Flowers was playing quarterback. I mean, this game tonight.
Do you know who the third quarterback is?
The last thing I expected.
Do you know who the?
Yeah, Hundley Kizer.
Who's the third quarterback?
Callahan.
Randall Cobb. That's how
dire they are.
And by the way, one point that was made, I don't always love Chris Collinsworth, but he made some really good points. He was on tonight. What he said was they basically build the whole offense, not around running. They build the whole offense around one guy, around Aaron Rodgers. If he went down, it would have been over. And there is the Philly special. There's Philly.
Well,
sorry.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
So these people are saying, and I appreciate
that. Please respond to the comments.
Yeah, they're saying that Aaron Rodgers could still be really hurt. They're saying that it could be a tear. They're saying he could still miss time.
I'm a sports doctor.
Even though he told them.
Okay, what I'm suggesting is it's true that he could have had a mild, he had a strain. There's certain things we know he didn't have. He didn't have a fracture. He didn't have a full torn ACL. He didn't. We could go through the whole list.
I'm really laughing. I don't mean to interrupt, but today on my YouTube, I kind of was unhinged, as I described to my friends. I was completely lost, and I kind of said in kind of a hot takey way that I wanted Pat Shurmur to be fired. Now,
are people picking up on that here?
And one of the friends, Big Blue for Life, a good friend who comments, he said that
sprayed MCL could be a sprayed MCL.
I want him to be fired.
It's a very good, and that's probably a doctor out there.
I'm gonna give Shurmur some time. I mean, I'm really upset at the way that he's handled, the cutting of Darian Thompson and Davis Webb. I mean, classless maneuvers there. And sure as heck, the red zone offense was terrible. And he's as bland as a dry erase board. But other than that, I'm willing to give him a chance.
There's a great comment there about the Jets.
What?
Giving up Ryan Fitzmagic and seeing what they have. And again,
Bridgewater or Fitzpatrick?
For giving Fitzpatrick. The bottom line is that today a journeyman quarterback played the game of his life for, I think, a very average team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
From the ashes.
So today we saw 2 tremendous performances. One from a guy that you could believe it, Aaron Rodgers, but still in unbelievable fashion. And the other one is Ryan Fitzpatrick, Harvard grad. How old is he? He's got to be in his mid-30s.
Yeah.
Mid-30s. When you talk about the twilight of career, if you Google twilight of your career, Ryan's picture pops up. How the hell did they go to New Orleans and win 48-40?
He's been in the twilight of his career for 20 years.
Since he was a rookie.
He was seeing the end from the minute he was drafted.
Yeah,
from the minute he got a Rubik's Cube in his hand as he was 4 years old going to Harvard.
Darkwa. Darkwa comment.
You know what is great?
He lost, man.
Orleans
Darkwa.
Who knows where he is right now?
You know he's not in New York.
No,
we know this against
New
Saquon
Orleans,
Barkley,
Darkwa.
who certainly acquitted himself
The fact
very well.
is about Ryan Fitzpatrick is that this guy is a smart guy. This guy is a wonderful teammate. And Ryan Fitzpatrick today, I am so happy because I picked the Bucs to win the NFC South. Everybody was crapping on the Tampa Bay Bucs. And now you look at the Tampa Bay Bucs, and if you play survival football, I think there was like 30 people playing survival football, and 22 of them picked the Saints today. So it just shows you the magic of Fitzmagic. and
it sounds redundant, but I think it's well
very,
said.
very redundant. But, you know, Mike Evans, the Saints overlooking the Bucs, and that's what makes the NFL so great is it's a huge, huge win for the Bucs. I actually said the Bucs would win, but I kind of wasn't feeling it. And I'm disappointed with the Bucs defense, but I want to see the Bucs build upon this. And when Jameis comes back now, Ryan really gave them a big boost.
Quick hits. So when I tap you, it means I'm ready to make a quick hit, and then you'll continue. If just when I have it, because having a little ADD, not exactly. If you guys, if you want to read something entertaining, Dez Bryant was tweeting while watching the Cowboys game, and the first comment he said is, "I'm not going to say anything more about the Cowboys." Then he tweets about 10 more times. Basically says that. Without Bailey, who's not there anymore, without himself, he said if they had those two guys, they would have won the game today. And the Dallas Cowboys, I agree with the comment by our listener, watcher, whatever you want to call them. They were short on wide receivers today, and they were light. And a guy like Dez Bryant, to say that he was reveling and pouring salt in their wounds, you guys got to read. Everybody just go on Twitter and look at Dez Bryant and read if you guys want to get a good laugh. It's 12:05 here in the East. It's Rosh Hashanah for many of us. It's a happy New Year. It's a happy time, and you guys are amazing. We have over 53 people on our Periscope,
humbled, and I thank Periscope for sharing.
But there's so many things that happened today. One thing that we could say is I'm going to let you go right with the San Francisco 49ers.
So rapid fire around.
Let's go rapid fire, Lords. If you just look at the score, you'd think that Garoppolo didn't have a good game, but you watched the whole game on game film. And you were marveling at how well they played. Just hit close. That's good. You got another 10%.
I was marveling. The 49ers, they dominated the game. They were outgaining Minnesota, and I watched it
Great
back.
Opening weekend.
I watched it back on Game Pass. Because the thing is, when you're at home and stuff, you have to go to a sports bar to watch the NFL at college. You only get one local game. So that's why if you order the Game Pass, you're able to watch all these condensed games. And Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers had so many opportunities today to go out there and win the football game. And Jimmy Garoppolo asserted himself really well in the game. Kyle Shanahan, Alfred Morris fumbled on the 3-yard line. The 49ers made so many mistakes, a pick six, and they were right there throughout the game. And then Kyle Shanahan, he was down 11 points, ball, 3rd and goal with about 8 minutes to go. He elects to kick a field goal from the 3-yard line on 4th and goal. What a terrible, terrible decision. But other than that, 49ers look really good. Here's the other big win today. Big statement win by the Kansas City Chiefs. Tyreek Hill, I think, is the best weapon in all football. He is the best wide receiver in the game right now. He's on pace to have an MVP season if he keeps this up. If I was voting for MVP, Tyreek Hill will be my MVP right now. 3 total touchdowns.
Talk about the quarterback play for the Chiefs today.
Mahomes with 4 touchdowns. I'm excited to watch the game and do a recap. But this was an incredible, incredible performance by the Kansas City Chiefs to get a win. Looking around the NFL, let's look at our disappointing teams. Disappointing, the Tennessee Titans are the most. I
think the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals have a completely retooled coaching staff. A guy named David Merrick, who is one of our favorite people. Defensive. He was a defensive backs coach for the Giants. Also, a great Steve. What's it? The coach for
Steve Wilkes.
Steve Wilkes, very inspirational coach. And again, I've never been a Sam Bradford fan. And I have to admit, I didn't watch a minute of the game. But the fact that the Redskins absolutely went west and shellacked them, killed them, okay? with Alex Smith, that I just think I can't think of a more disappointing team than the Cardinals. How can you be a Cardinals fan and see yourself get shellacked at home by the Deadskins? I think that is my shocking loss of the day. Who else was really disappointing today? Cowboys with 8 points.
Yeah.
Cowboys with 8 points. Horrible game. Just terrible.
We had a friend who went to the Bills Ravens
Oh, no,
game.
the Bills had to be the worst. I'm sorry. Our friend Gary Kaminsky, who's one of our Rovers, imagine this. You drive all the way from Philly. You sit in a driving rainstorm out in the elements. Your team's down 26-0 at half. You know what you do? You drive back home to eat a good meal, a good holiday meal with the Grossinger family. And that's exactly what we did. And the final score was like 42-3.
Yeah.
It was 42-3. So the Bills have no offensive line at all. Nate Peterman is the worst. That's his first name, Nate?
The problem with
That's his name, Nate. Also,
the problem with the Buffalo Bills is that they don't want Josh Allen to
they don't want to have Josh Allen just be killed. They don't want to see him be pulverized.
Yeah.
So guess what? That's why Peterman is what they call roadkill.
But I think that's like waterboarding yourself. I mean, if you're a Bills fan going to a Ravens Bills,
you literally waterboard yourself. In fact, you get less water if you got waterboarded than going to see the Ravens game today because it was a complete monsoon
Peterman
today.
wasn't. He couldn't even make it with Butch Jones. That's how you know the guy's a failure if he can't even make it with Butch Jones. But today the Giants, my Giants played. And
they're not the most.
There were some good things.
Saquon had a beautiful run, a beautiful 60-yard
run play of the game. The defense played okay. There was still no pass rush to be found today. So
Flowers,
Eric
Flowers is a complete disaster. He needs to be benched.
The Giants are just used to losing ball games. I really hate Jason Garrett. I mean, he just shouldn't, be a coach anymore. He's just so lame. The Cowboys are just lame. Dak Prescott, they need somebody to inject some energy into that culture. That culture is just lame, the Dallas Cowboys. And the New York Giants with Pat Shurmur, I think that they're on to something a little bit with Beckham and Barkley. Like I saw some flashes today, and
Dakota
I think the Giants,
Fanning Prescott. That must be his full name, I guess, right? Dakota Fanning Prescott.
That sounds like an actress or some crap. I don't know what that is.
Maybe Dakota. They're saying
it's Dakota Fanning. She's an actress, I think.
Okay.
I just forget.
You got it. I don't know.
Just forget.
You had me at
pop
in
culture. I'm just so out of pop culture. I got to get back into pop culture.
Well, maybe, but not during this live stream. So we've got 45
season.
people on our Periscope.
Not during football season. I mean, this game tonight was why the NFL is great, because you have legendary characters, and Aaron Rodgers is a legend. And I had friends texting me like Aaron's not human, and the game was so like divine intervention type that they thought that the game was somehow. It seemed like they said it was like a WWE script, like how he was carted off the field, how he came back into the locker room. It's like you couldn't have scripted.
But there are two things I have to mention. This I remember. One is Clay Matthews could have been the GOAT. And I don't mean the greatest of all time. For a veteran who barely showed up today at all, barely did anything, Mitchell Trubisky let the ball go on fourth down. The game was over. He had to do was exactly what we were doing. Absolutely nothing. If he did absolutely nothing, they would have won. But instead, he got called for a heinous hitting the quarterback. Not only did he hit him after the play was thrown, but he also hit him blow to the head. And you know what? Gave them new life. That was just terrible. Another crazy turning point in the game was a cornerback for the Bears. Didn't believe the ball was thrown directly. And again, one of the Packers fell down. So I don't blame Rodgers on this. Right in his hands. I think my cat's getting kind of old. My cat could have caught the ball. But that's what makes it such a miracle game. Those two plays. But the fact is that the Packers still prevailed. How many of you guys out there saw that game tonight and saw Aaron Rodgers? This was vintage Aaron Rodgers. If you just showed a replay of the second half to the Hall of Fame committee, he's a first-bound Hall of Famer. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Aaron is just absolutely ridiculous, and it made the whole day really good. I thought the 4 o'clock games were good, that Seattle-Denver game. I can't wait to go back and watch that game.
That was exciting.
Denver with a great
Russell Wilson is basically playing a little bit like Aaron Rodgers. He's basically lifting the team up on his shoulders. He played amazingly, not quite enough to win. Seattle defense is not the Legion of Boom anymore. They've lost too many people, that they've gotten old. But that was an exciting game.
Yes. And I think that it was just a great day. I'm ready to head out pretty soon, though.
Are you ready to make like a baby and head out?
Yes, it was great.
Okay,
so thank you guys so much for
thanks everybody.
joining.
Just as a station break, we are Rover Sports. We are ESPN Philly, but we're on a lot of different platforms. You guys on Periscope are incredible for staying up here. It's after midnight in the East. Thanks. If you like what you see, tell people about Rover Sports. I'm Bruce the Sports Doc. I'm here with Spencer G. Thanks for YouTube for supporting us with sponsors. Everybody, as we always say, good night and good sports.